Hello and welcome to a nice casual vlog on this January 25th, 2022. And today I just want to give a bit of an update in the story of how today went because it was actually kind of cool. So I woke up today after having woken up several times through the night. So I'm actually struggling with a couple factors, actually. I'm on this medication to quit smoking cigarettes, and part of the side effects of that medication is it gives the reported effect is that it gives nightmares, which luckily I'm not experiencing that, but I'm definitely having more intense dreams and dreams every single night. But over the past 3 nights, what I've started to notice is that I actually am waking up multiple times through the night. Basically, whenever anything bad happens in a dream or shocking, I'll just immediately wake up, and I'll wake up up to 6 times or 8 times a night, which is pretty excessive. And I'm surprised I'm not more tired than I am. Because all things considered, I'm not very tired. And I am going to bed early, so I guess that helps. But on top of that, I got my COVID booster shot on Sunday. So it's been rough. My body aches and stuff like that. So I've been recovering from that a little bit. But it's good to get enhanced immunity and all that good stuff. But I guess other than, waking up a bunch of times through the middle of the night, was working today and just sort of felt bored and blah. So I'm working from home, and my work is entirely remote these days. So I don't really see a whole lot of people in general. And on top of that, 2 of my roommates were gone for the weekend, and they stayed they were in different states from me. So they were gone until one of them came back this afternoon. But up until this morning, I had basically been on my own since the weekend. And so I think that contributed to the boredom as well, being understimulated in that way, basically just talking to people over the phone or in Discord and stuff like that. I think humans are social animals, and it's really good to get connection with other people in person. I think that's a vital part of feeling okay. So I was feeling kind of blah. I was feeling kind of bored. But then there were a couple things, or actually a good handful of things, that made my day a lot better today. So first of all, my friend Dan called. And he's a big spiritual guy, and he's someone I met over the summer, and it's been really interesting being friends with him because it's someone to bounce ideas off of, and he's a really passionate guy, and it's he's always very nice and inviting when he calls, so it's always nice to engage with. Because I feel it's something where he's never not engaged with the conversation. He's always on top of it, and been really big support of my music and making videos and stuff like that. He's a big fan of me. Well, I mean, it's more than that. I think we just have a good friendship. We have a good back and forth, and I'd love to hang out with him in person more. But he called, and it felt like it was a 15-minute call. But when I hang up the phone, it was 50 minutes. And I was holy shit. And I was working while I was on the phone with him. But it was still a really good and engaging phone call. And it flew by. It really felt like it was not that long, but it was really engaging, and it was nice. So that and I found myself smiling when I hung up the phone with him, because it was nice to be thought of and called. So that was really cool. Number 2 is my roommate's cat, who I'm looking after and feeding, came up to me and she was trying to get me to feed her early, which is what I think what was happening. But she came up and she, like, while I was working at my desk in my room, she came up and, like, rubbed her head against my leg, and that was really sweet. You know, it's like little moments like that really make you feel like connected and stuff like that. I guess another good thing this morning was I got a chance to meditate, which is always nice. It's always a good way to start the day, and I'm like getting back in the groove with meditation. Like, I'm actually like getting sort of in the zone with it, which is nice because I'm getting back to sort of where I was with it. And it like waxes and wanes, which is sort of, you know, there's always something to work at in it. Like my conception of what goes on during meditation changes a lot over time, and it's cool to experience, you know, the different phases of it, in that, like, there's always more to discover and go deeper with it. And so, but it's always just a nice thing as like a habitual thing to return to, and it generally makes me calmer throughout the day. So that's always nice. Little thing that happened that was like a big deal. Like, so like while I was taking like a 5-second like break from working, I just noticed like birds chirping out my window, and it was like this weird moment that like really like sort of meditating, it like brought me into the present to such a degree that I'm like, wow, birds are like, it's like Sans Undertale said, it's a beautiful day outside, birds are singing, you know? And it was like, you know, that moment that like it felt like, hey, things are like coming together. Like, and I don't know, part of me is like, it's getting to the tail end of January, so part of me is like starting to get hyped for spring, because I'm not a massive fan of winter. I kind of like the mid to warmer time of year, which luckily is like the majority of the year. So looking forward to that coming back, and the birds singing sort of, it really just effectively calmed me down in a way that like I didn't really, it made me immediately, when I like focused on the birds, that it was sort of automatic, but when I started to focus on the birds like singing outside, like it immediately like calmed me down in a very intense way, and I was just like, man, it kind of is cool to be alive, huh? Like there are some cool moments. And part of that too was I took a couple walks during the workday, which was nice. This is a long vlog basically of me saying things I did instead of working today, but you know, hey, the work, I'm not going to remember that 20 years from now. I'm not going to remember me working all that. Well, maybe I will, but it won't be the important part. The important part will be the little moments that I had that like punctuated these days, that would otherwise be monotonous days. So, you know, screw it. Like, what am I going to vlog about me working? Lamau? Unlikely. Yeah, so other cool thing was multiple people gave me advice on which music should be on one of my upcoming albums of unreleased tracks. They were like, hey, these tracks are like really hype, these ones are, you know, maybe you could consider not putting them on the album, and these other ones, like, maybe you could modify them in this or that way and then they'd be good to go. So that was really nice. Shout out Zug and Squilliam for that advice. It was really sweet, and the feedback was really cool. Like, you know, it's cool that people care enough about my music to give that feedback, and it's really helpful and insightful to like get an idea of what others think of my tunes and like what works and what doesn't. because that, like, I'm always looking to grow in that sphere, and it's like, I don't know, it's mostly just really heartening to see that people like care to the point where they would provide that feedback. So that's really sweet. Another cool thing is I matched with a cute girl on OkCupid, so, and I shot my shot. We will see how that goes. Wish me luck in the comments, of course. Yeah, so it's a small thing, but it's a nice thing. And it always helps. That makes my day a little bit better when that happens. And so another thing is I got to talk about weird esoteric bullshit on Twitter, which I do frequently. But, you know, today I was maybe a little bit more articulate with it than usual, and people were like grasping onto it a little bit. So that was cool. I make a habit of it often, so it's cool to see that it had some traction. And I guess on that final note, I am thinking of starting a book club. And if you'd be interested in joining this book club, let me know. What I'm thinking the theme of it would be like books about consciousness, or like, you know, various, or maybe like science fiction books that are about like metaphysical concepts. It's kind of like spacey book club or out there book club. I feel like that would be pretty cool. So if you want to be part of that book club, I'd probably start a Discord server where people would, you know, we'd pick a book to read together, and then we'd probably meet on a given time to like discuss it, which may or may not be, if people were down for it, made into a podcast, which I feel would be really cool, and I could bring, you know, some interesting people together to do that. So let me know if you want to be in the Shraft Book Club, because I think it'd be pretty lit. Alright, that's enough babbling out of me for today. So let me know if you want to be in the book club. Let me know if you got to the end of the video. Type watermelon in the comments, and people are gonna be like, what the fuck, why are people commenting watermelon? But you know, it'll be epic proof that you made it, like a baller, because my game footage was just so enticing that you had to watch to the end. Yeah, okay, bye-bye.